Let's discuss the pros and cons of an online engineering degree. Number one, the pro. The most important one that I think for an online engineering degree is the degree of flexibility. Flexibility certainly is a huge factor when considering online engineering degrees. Most of us have very busy and hectic schedules, and seeking an online degree that has the potential to fit into those random moments of available time throughout the day, well, that's super important. Quite often, virtual classrooms can be accessed at any point in the day. So, flexibility, definitely the number one pro. Number two, convenience. Without question, an online engineering degree offers a significant amount of convenience. For example, commute times, when compared to more traditional academic learning, will be significantly reduced or possibly eliminated entirely. The student also has the opportunity to expand their academic options without regard to geographic constraints, and the remote nature of an online engineering degree permits the student to attend programs throughout the country without having to move or relocate. So, convenience, you definitely can't count that one out. Effective discourse is the third most important pro. An online format basically is a unique and important way to foster effective and informative dialogue. Course discussions typically don't require simultaneous interactions between students, and this can encourage an informed conversation as students have more time to think about, process, and articulate their responses instead of solely depending upon the knowledge of a professor. An effective online discussion has the potential to unlock the teaching qualities within every student. So basically, you're fine tuning your ability to communicate between individuals. So, this is, in my opinion, one of the things that has been severely lacking in traditional models of post secondary education is the ability to take a moment, sit back, contemplate, react to other people's circumstances, other people's thoughts, and formulate your own decisions and create effective discourse. So, definitely a pro in my book as it trains a more unique skill set than traditional learning would. Also, there is some hybrid program development that's happening right now as distance learning continues to gain momentum. Many schools are refining their programs to include a hybrid degree learning. These opportunities combine primary distance learning with occasional in person labs or training. That would certainly apply to your engineering degree. And these programs aim to combine a greater variety of learning opportunities in order to further prepare engineering students for their future careers. While considering programs, individuals seeking engineering degrees should take a moment to compare and contrast the hybrid learning opportunities that all the programs offer. If hybrid learning or in person labs and training are required for a portion of your online engineering degree, then physical proximity to the program becomes necessary, obviously. As online learning continues to grow, many programs are establishing satellite locations, and these locations could provide opportunities for in person learning even when the students live far away from the primary campus of the program. So, as we see distance learning expanding within colleges, within certain degree programs that already exist, these satellite learning opportunities or in-person hybrid learning continue to grow significantly. So it's not that distance learning completely eliminates the need for a brick and mortar building, especially for an engineering degree. Let's face it, there's got to be a lot of hands-on opportunities so that you can expand your horizons, expand your knowledge, and that's going to take in-person learning to a certain degree in most cases. Um, and that's why brick and mortar, it's not completely gone. So take a moment to consider the hybrid moments, the hybrid opportunities for learning that each program offers. And number five, a pro for you is also the cost. And without a doubt, rising education costs are an enormous burden amongst student populations today. These same costs must be considered while seeking your online engineering degree. And just because a program is conducted remotely doesn't mean that it'll be any less expensive than your traditional on campus learning, right? So, unfortunately, there have been quite a few remote learning programs that have operated on a for profit basis, and student costs can be a bit unbearable under these programs, especially the programs that have started the online learning opportunities from the beginning. They oftentimes had significantly higher costs. Those costs, fortunately, are coming down because fortunately the world is continuing to embrace online learning and a greater variety of programs are being developed. Mainstream universities are developing and refining their own remote learning programs and creating a significant amount of competition. So that's key. This competition is driving down costs and offering a wider range of tuition than ever before. And as you peruse online engineering programs, be certain to compare those costs. Oftentimes now, an online degree can be obtained with significant savings attached as long as you look for the right opportunities for yourself. Now, those are some great pros, right? Not everything comes without its cons. You got to remember there certainly are some cons that go with online distance learning. Most importantly, I think discipline, personal discipline that is, it can be a big impediment when it comes to succeeding in online learning. So, the freedom that's afforded online engineering degree students might not benefit everyone. So keep that in mind. Online education requires a distinct individual who's capable of self discipline. The student has a significant amount of control over the learning experience and the processes that you get towards achieving your degree, and that can be a blessing for those seeking flexibility or a burden for anyone who happens to struggle with organizing their daily life. Unfortunately, for many online learners, the hectic lifestyle is precisely the reason for seeking distance programs in the first place. So, prior to seeking online education, prospective students should conduct a self assessment of their lives. Do you have the discipline to succeed in an online learning environment? Or maybe in person is what you need. Maybe it's easier for you to stay consistent with a traditional brick and mortar learning experience as opposed to being left on your own and being forced to use your own self discipline skills to accomplish your goals. And honestly, only you know the answer to that question. Number two, the cons could be the program itself. So, traditional learning experiences are a product of hundreds of years of trial and error. They have been refined to provide a high quality education, and that comes in stark contrast to the relatively new time frame of online education. Effective learning experiences are still being developed for online education. To get the most out of your online engineering degree, it's important to do your own research. Experienced and engaging online instructors have the potential to dramatically influence your career trajectory. And unfortunately, effective distance instruction is still a work in progress for many programs. So, online education is absolutely growing at an exponential pace, right? And that means that all these programs are showing up, and not necessarily all of them are going to be what you need. Not all of them are going to be effective, and that's going to be reflected in what you actually learn. It's going to be reflected in the potential career choices you make down the line, as well as the companies that might have an interest in you in the first place. So the program itself can be a major, major con. So you have to take a lot of time to really dig in deep. If you know people in the engineering field, it would certainly help you out if you went out and talked to them and asked them, hey, are there any distance learning programs that your company in specific would consider to be highly valuable? And maybe work backwards from there to find the program that best fits you. So don't just take the program's word for it that they're great. Go out there and find people within the community, within the career that you want to be a part of, and make a choice from there. Now, third con is the technology limitation. Technology certainly can be a limiting factor when you're participating in online engineering degree. So distance learning inherently depends upon access to the internet and the consistent use of a computer, laptop, and phone. And these luxuries can be quite expensive and a significant burden upon students. So there are programs out there that will coordinate with you and help you get the technology you need to succeed. So definitely take an opportunity like that to find ways to make this technology barrier less significant. Furthermore, an impactful learning experience will depend upon the degree of technical literacy that you have. Progressive development of such skills are often required for online education, without a doubt. And if you're considering an engineering degree, these are actually technical abilities that you are going to need no matter what. So it might be a great idea for you to refine your technical ability before you participate in an online engineering program. Now, our fourth con is that there's still an online education stigma, right? So while online education is certainly gaining ground upon traditional education options, it is still worth noting that there is a negative stigma that still exists. Within the grand picture of education, online options have only been around for a minuscule amount of time, and as such, it shouldn't be surprising that prospective employers might value online engineering degrees less than ones that are obtained through in-person campus-based courses, for example. So fortunately, there's an active transition of this mindset that is gaining momentum every day as more people participate in online education, as more people who have graduated from these programs then join the workforce, and then companies see the value, see the work ethic of the people who have graduated from online degree programs. Um, with an engineering degree, you definitely obviously still have to get your hands on experience, but they're also going to value that technical experience that you've gained and ability to self motivate and the self discipline you've already developed, right, into their daily work life. So that can create a pro eventually, but we're still fighting to get over that online stigma. So keep that in mind. Your hard work really is the only thing that will get rid of that. So it's up to you to get rid of the stigma. And last but not least, there's also, in general, a lack of hands on experience, right? Just it needs to come as no surprise that remote learning generally lacks the immersive hands on experience learning. Physically interactive learning has always been an important factor in processing, understanding, and memory building, right? So while researching online engineering degree programs, it's important for you to consider whether or not you learn best with extensive hands on experience. If you learn best through direct interaction, then seeking remote learning for your engineering degree might be a poor choice, for example. While it's possible that this limitation could also frustrate your learning experience and would force you to abandon your dreams of an online engineering degree prematurely. If your answer is yes to that problem, then it's likely not in your best interest to do online education, right? If it's going to force you to quit early, what's the point in wasting the time, the energy, and the money into doing something that's not going to fulfill your career goals? At which point you might seek a different career goal, or you might um, move back to more traditional learning opportunities. So, those are just some of the many pros and cons to an online engineering degree. And you know what? If you've gotten this far, I do want to wish you all the best in your future learning opportunities.